Dear students, welcome to you. Today, inshallah, we're going to start the axial skeleton system in our body, and we need to get more information about it. Let's start our lesson today. The skull, the second part in the axial skeleton. We need to know the function and we need to know the structure. Well, function of the skull is what? As we said, is a bony box for protection the brain. Excellent, protection of the brain. But what about the structure of the skull? We're going to divide the skull into two main parts: cranium and facial part. Posterior part, or we call it what? Cranium. Okay, and the other part is what? Anterior part or facial part. Facial, it's mean related to your face. Posterior part, we call it what? Cranium. We call it what? Cranium. While the anterior part, we call it what? Yes, facial part. We call it what? Facial part. Excellent. The posterior part of the cranium consists of 8 serrated bones. They are attached firmly to each other. They are attached firmly together, okay? To preserve the protection for the brain. While the anterior part contains what? The bone face like upper jaw, lower jaw, and position for sense organs like eyes, nose, and ears, okay? That, as we said, the skull consists of two main parts. Okay, cranium and facial part. Cranium or posterior part contains or includes 8 serrated bones. They are attached firmly together, and what you are seeing right now, yes, those are serrated bones. Okay, those are serrated bones. And also, don't forget that the cranium contains, okay, what? Yes, the foramen magnum. Foramen magnum, it's a hole, okay, for passage the spinal cord from the brain to inside the neural canal. While and those are the plates that form it, okay, the blue lights, they are what? They are the serrated bones. While in front of you, okay, it's what? Upper jaw and lower jaw, and senses, position of sense organs. Finally, to finish the axial skeleton, we said that we have a skull and its structure and function, we said it. And also in the last episode, we said what? Yes, the vertebral column is function. Right now, we're going to finish the axial skeleton. And the last piece of information is what? The thoracic cage or thoracic cavity. Also, when I'm going to give you any organ or information about the biology, you have to tell me the function, location, and structure. Is it clear? Okay. What about the function of the thoracic cage or rib cage? Yes. Number one, protect lung and heart. Get the meaning again. Protect what? Lungs and heart. And also it has an important function for formation blood cells, like most of your skeletal system. Plays an important role in what? In the mechanism of the respiration, inhalation and exhalation. While during the inspiration, the ribs move what? Outward and laterally to what? To increase the volume of thoracic cavity, and vice versa during the expiration or during exhalation, releasing the air. This is what? Your thoracic cage, okay? Who can tell me the shape of the thoracic cage? It looks like what? Is it cuboid or is it triangle or whatever? Actually, looks like slightly conical in shape. It looks like what? Slightly conical in shape. And when we go into start to study the structure of the thoracic cage, we have what? We have main 3 points. Number one, we have bone which is called sternum. I need you to observe it on the picture. Again, the first bone that we have, we go and study it, is called what? Sternum. Called what? Sternum. Okay? And also we have 12 thoracic vertebra. Did you remember that? We said that the thoracic cage, it's not the ribs and the sternum, but sternum, ribs, and also where the vertebrae of the vertebral column that attached tightly with the ribs. They are called what? From the last episode we said it. Who can remember that? Yes, they are called thoracic vertebra. Okay? So number one, we have what? Sternum bone, and this bone is flat bone and pointed, okay, from the at the end, and its point made above cartilage. So it has what? Cartilaginous end or cartilaginous part. This is the sternum, okay, and no more information about it. Number two, we have 12 pairs of 12 thoracic vertebrae. We have what? 12 thoracic vertebrae. And finally, we have 12 pairs of ribs. We have what? 12 pairs of ribs. And focus here. All the ribs connected posteriorly from the side of your back, connected, okay, with the thoracic vertebra. Okay, one. On the other side, I mean anteriorly, the first 10 pairs only. We said that we have 12 pairs of ribs. Okay, well, all ribs posteriorly, they are connected with vertebrae of vertebral column, while anteriorly just the first 10 pairs only. Okay, first what? 10 pairs only, they are connected to the sternum bone, while the last two pairs, I mean the last two pairs, pair number 11 and pair number 12, they are short ribs, and they cannot reach to the sternum bone. So they are called what? We call them, they are short, we call them floating ribs. We call them what? Floating ribs, and they have an important role in the inhalation and exhalation process. And let me show something here. So its shape is what? Slightly conical in shape. And structure, sternum is a flat bone. Its end is a pointed and made above cartilage. Yes, 12 thoracic vertebra. And what else? Excellent, 12 pairs of ribs. Who can tell me about the connection before starting? Perfect. All ribs are connected posteriorly to the thoracic vertebra, while the first 10 pairs only from the front side, they are connected with sternum bone. The lower two pairs, I mean 11 and 12, they are short, cannot reach to the sternum, so they are called floating ribs, and they have an important role during the inspiration process, inhalation, and exhalation process. Let's show something on video. Well, as we said, it consists of main three parts. Well, sternum bone, it is a flat bone, and 12 pairs of ribs. Yes, excellent. Those are the ribs, okay, that we're going to point on it. And also we have 12 thoracic vertebra. As we said, the first 10 pairs of ribs, they are connected anteriorly to the sternum bone, while all ribs are connected posteriorly to the thoracic vertebra. Okay, as you see that, it's very simple. And also we said that the main function of this structure of the thoracic cage, we said it what it has, just different function, like what it protects important organs, your heart and lungs, and also it has an important role in formation of blood cells, and also finally we said it has an important role in what? In respiration process during inhalation and exhalation. From the last information, who can tell me what's mean by the rib? Yes, the rib. Is it a very long bone? If it or it's a thin bone? Is it curved or straight, whatever? Who can? I need you to squeeze your mind. Yes, it is what? It is a curved thin bone attached by two sides, okay? Attached posteriorly to the sternum. Who can tell me the sternum? Sternum is what? Is the large part that we found it and we said it inside what? Yep, that form the vertebra, okay? And transverse process of the thoracic vertebra. After that, we're going to study the upper limb, lower limb, and girdles. Again, right now we finished from what? From the axial skeleton, okay? We said the axial skeleton consists of skull, backbone, and rib cage or thoracic cage. After that, we have what? Appendicular skeleton. Appendicular skeleton consists of three main parts: upper limb or forelimb, lower limb, and girdles. Inside girdle, we have two other structures, okay? Pectoral and pelvic girdle. Let's start with the upper or forelimb. Well, and the second one is what? Is the pelvic. Well, we have upper limb and lower limb here. I'm going to give you a comparison between them, and after that I'm going to show a video for you, okay? Well, let's start with the upper limb. Upper limb, it consists of what? It consists of each one of them 5 parts. 5 what? Or 5 points. Well, the upper arm, lower arm, I'm going to give give you the more information about it. Again, number 1, they are what? Upper arm, lower arm, and wrist, palm, and finally digits. Well, the upper arm, it's supported by just one bone, which is called humerus. Called what? Humerus bone. While the lower arm, okay, it's supported by 2 bones. Supported by what? 2 bones. One of them is fixed and the other rotates around it. The fixed one, we call it what? We call it ulna. We call it what? Ulna. While the small one that rotates around there is called what? Radius. Called what? Radius. Again, number 1 we said we have upper arm supported by just one bone called humerus. Number 2, lower arm supported by 2 bones, ulna and radius. Ulna is what? Ulna is a fixed, okay, and also it has a depression, okay. Depression means something, it's a part inside it, okay, internal part inside it. For what? Because the main function of this depression, the head of the humerus fits inside it, okay, for articulation, as we said, as we go on also to study the giant. While in case of radius, it is a small size and rotates around the fixed ulna. The third part that we have, what? The wrist. Well, actually, wrist, it consists of 8 small bones. Consists of what? 8 small bones. They are arranged in 2 rows. Arranged in what? 2 rows. The upper end are attached to the lower part of the radius, while the lower end are attached to the bone of the hand or palm. Finally, we have what? We have palm and after that digits. Well, palm consists of 5 long bones, each one of them called metacarpal, and they are called metacarpals, okay? Well, while the rest, each tine or small bone is called carpals. They are called what? Carpals. So we have again the name of the bones: humerus in upper arm, radius and ulna in the lower arm. One wrist we have, they are called, consists of 8 bones, they are called carpals. Called what? Carpals. Okay, and palm consists of 5 long bones, each one of them called metacarpal. They are called what? Metacarpal. Finally, the digits, your digits. Digit consists of what? Consists of each digit 3 small bone, okay? Each one of them is called, it has a very important name, phalange. Each one of them called what? Phalange. So they are called what? Phalanges. but the thumb, I mean the short finger, or the short digit, it contains just 2 phalanges. And let's show something here about the upper limb. This is the upper limb, okay? As we said, it consists of different parts, okay? Actually, scapula and clavicle, we're going to study them in the next part, okay, which is the pectoral girdle, okay? But right now, we need to know what the structure of what upper arm, which is humerus, ulna, radius, and carpals and metacarpals. This is the humerus, okay, that supports the upper arm, while the lower arm is supported by, we said what, 2 bones. One of them is called ulna, and this ulna is affixed, and the other one is what, movable or rotates around it. We call it what, radius, okay? And actually, the radius bone, it's small and rotates around the fixed ulna. Okay, the rest, okay, I mean the lighting part, okay, I mean the shiny part, not the dark one. Those are called digits. Consists of 8 small bones, each one of them called carpal. So we have 8 carpals inside our wrist, each wrist. We have 8 in the left side and 8 in the right side. They are arranged in 2 rows, while the upper end are attached to the lower part of the radius, and vice versa. I mean the lower end are attached to the bone of the hand or the palm. Actually, we have a lot of name here and information, but just to be our information that we needed in our lesson to know that radius, the breast consists of 8 bones. They are arranged in 2 rows, 4 and 4, and that is enough. Okay. It's, as we said, it consists of what the digits consists of. Each one, or before starting the digit, we have also the palm. The palm consists of 5 long bones, each one of them called metacarpal. Finally, the digit, we have 5 digits. We have 5 digits. I need you to count with me each digit of them. It consists of what? Consists of 3 small bones, okay? But each one of them called phalange. Each one of them called what? Phalange, except the thumb. Except what? The thumb. It consists of 2 phalanges. Again, the upper arm, okay, and as we said, it's 5 parts: upper, lower, wrist, palm, and digits. On the other side, what we have, yes, the lower limb, okay, the second part in the appendicular skeleton system. Also, it consists of 5 points or 5 parts. Okay, they are what? Thigh, shank, and ankle, foot, and finally we have what? Digits also. Well, let's start with what? With the thigh structure. Well, it contains just 1 bone, and to consider one of the largest bone inside your body. It's called what? Femur. Called what? Femur. So we have here upper arm is supported by 1 bone called humerus. On the other hand, yes, also in the lower limb supported by 1 bone called femur. Okay. Well, after that we have what? The shank. Well, shank, it contains 2 bones. Contains what? 2 bones. One of them called tibia and the other called fibula. Again, one of them called what? Tibia and the other called fibula. Well, tibia is the inner thick bone, okay, where the lower part of the femur contains 2 processes, 2 projections for what? For articulation with the tibia to form the knee joint. Okay, again, how the knee joint is formed. Again, the inner thick bone, which is called tibia, okay, and the shank. The lower part of the femur contains 2 processes, okay, 2 projections. They are articulate with the tibia, forming the knee joint. And we have here a very small, or it's not very small, but just rounded and small bone, okay, covers the knee joint. This bone is called what? We call it patella, or we call it kneecap, because it covers the knee joint, okay? After that, we have fibula. Again, we said what? We said thigh shank consists of two bones, tibia and fibula. Okay, we said tibia, so easy. What about the fibula? The outer thin bone. It is what? The outer thin bone, and no more information about it. Number 3, the ankle consists of 7 bones. 7 what? Bones. They are called tarsals. The bigger or largest one at the back, and we call it the heel. Get the difference between the lower, the upper limb and the lower limb? Well, in case of wrist, we have 8 bones, okay? While in case of ankle, we have what? 7 bones. And we have large one at the back, and we call it what? The heel bone, okay? After that, we have the foot contains 5 long thin bones. They are called what? Metatarsals. So, again, just I want to remind you from time to time, okay? I need you to focus more and more about the different names. Well, the foot contains 5 long thin bones called metatarsals, okay? And finally, we have digits. Also, on the same sequence, upper limb and lower limb behind of the digits. So we have 5 toes, each one of them supported by 3 bones, each one of them called phalange, except the big one, okay? It looks like the thumb in your hand, okay? But in case of your leg, it is what? The big or the large one, it contains just 2 phalanges. Easy? Let's show that. Appendicular skeleton consists of what? Yes, upper limb, lower limbs, and girdles. Right now, I'm going to compare between pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Yes, each one of you, I need you to pick your pen and paper and please write this comparison. Well, the upper limbs. Who can tell me the function of the upper limbs? We didn't see it. Just very easy for writing, for carrying object, holding object, and so on, okay? While in case of lower limbs, also the easy. For what? Yes. Support movement, carry body, your rest of the body, and so on. What about the structure? Structure of both of them, very, very important, okay? We have here upper arm supported by just one bone. We call it what? Humerus. While here in the lower limbs, excellent. Thigh also contains one bone called femur. Perfect. Upper arm, it supported, lower arm supported by 2 bones, okay? While lower limbs, yes, excellent, also 2 bones. Here 2 bones and here 2 bones. I need someone to tell me the 2 names of lower arm and to tell me the 2 bones of the lower limb. Just before starting, excellent. Ulna here, and the other one is what? Ulna and radius. Excellent. Ulna is upper. It is what? Upper part has a depression. For what? Because to fit with the head of the humerus, forming what? Forming the shoulder. While in case of tibia, it is what? Yes, inner thick bone. The lower part of the femur contains 2 processes forming what? Articulation to form the knee joint. After that, we have here ulna and yes, radius. What about the tibia? Tibia, we said it was it's a knee joint covered with a rounded bone called knee or kneecap or patella. Don't forget its name. Radius, smaller in size and rotates around what? Fixed ulna. So, from this information, you can conclude that ulna is a fixed, while radius is what? Is a movable. It means that it moves around the ulna to perform the movement of your upper and lower arm. While in case of fibula, it is outer thin bone. And after that we have what? Yes, digits here. We have 5 digits. Each one of them consists of what? 3 bones. They are called what? Phalanges. Except what? The thumb, that consists of 2 phalanges. Okay, and also on the other side the same. Digits here also 5 toes, each one of them called, yes, phalanges. Except the big one. In the case of upper limb we call it thumb, while here just the big one, okay, or big toe. Palm here in the upper limb, 5 long bones, okay, each one of them is called metacarpal. So we have what? 5 metacarpals. While in case of foot we have 5 long thin bones. They are called metatarsals. Again, metacarpals in your palm, while in foot metatarsals. Metacarpals and metatarsals. Don't forget, okay, the difference between the names. After that, we have the comparison between pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. We need to know structure and function of each of them, starting with function. Okay, function of pectoral girdle. It is used what? To connect the upper limb to the axial skeleton. On the other hand, also the pelvic girdle is what? Used to connect lower limb, excellent, to what? To also the axial skeleton. Okay. What about the structure of each of them? Well, pectoral girdle, it consists of 2 identical halves. Each one of them, it contains, they are firm, the shoulder bone. Okay. Each shoulder bone has or includes 2 main bones, scapula and clavicle, while the pelvic girdle is structured what? Also 2 halves, 2 identical halves, but each one of them consists of 3 fused bones. Fused, it means what? They are merged together. You cannot differentiate between them by your normal eye. Okay? One of them called ilium, ischium, and pubis. Again, ilium, ischium, and pubis. The scapula, starting with the scapula, it is a triangular bone. Its inner end broad, while its outer end is pointed, and it has a process attached to the clavicle bone. Ilium in the pelvic girdle, it is a dorsal bone attached anteriorly and ventrally to a bone called pubis, and attached posteriorly and ventrally to a bone called ischium. Okay, I'm going to show you something right now. Don't worry about that. Pectoral girdle also, it has outer end also contains cavity called glenoid cavity. Again, the outer end of of the scapula, we say that we have 2 bones, scapula and clavicle. The outer end of the scapula contains a cavity called glenoid cavity, through which what? The head of the humerus fits to form the shoulder joint. Okay? While in case of the pelvic girdle, the position of the attachment of ilium and ischium, there is a depression. This depression is called acetibulum, and I'm going to show the acetibulum depression by picture, okay? Into which the head of the femur, did you remember the femur? Yes, the largest bone that support the the lower limb. Thigh bone fits, forming what? Articulation or articulating joint called what? Hip joint. At the end, I hope you learned more about the axial skeleton, and see you the next time, starting with the appendicular skeletal system.